Hey folks, welcome back. In this video we're going to go over 3 worked examples to show you how to do problems involving stars and spectra. Now if you haven't already done so, check out my previous video covering the theory on this topic, and that way you can apply what you learned in that video to this one. So let's get going. Question 1 says which elements are present in the star? So if we look at the picture, you've got spectral lines of radiation from a distant star shown at the top, and then we've got the line spectra for 4 different elements shown below it. So we've got cadmium, calcium, krypton and mercury. And to find out if the elements are present in the star, remember we need to match up the lines of the elements with those of the star. And we say that if all of the lines in the spectrum for an element appear in the spectrum for the star, then that means the element is in the star. And remember, if you're doing this kind of thing in the exam, then you can use a ruler to see which lines match up. But it's usually quite easy to see which lines match up anyway. So for cadmium, we can see we've got this line matching up with this one matching up with this one, and these two matching up with these two. And then we've also got these 5 lines here which match up with the 5 in the star spectrum. So because all of the lines in the spectrum for cadmium appear in the spectrum for the star, that means we can say that cadmium is present in the star. Let's move on to calcium this time though, and we've got these 3 lines here which do not appear in the star here. We've also got this one here which doesn't appear in the spectrum for the star, and some of these don't appear in the star either. So that means there's lines in calcium that don't appear in the star, so therefore calcium is not present in our star. Then if we look at krypton spectrum, we've got this line here which is actually to the left of this one up here, so they're not actually lined up. You've then got these 2 dark lines that look as though they might match up with these 2, but they're actually offset from them, so that means that these 2 also don't match up. We've then got these 2 lines here which don't match up with any lines in the star spectrum, and lastly these 2 lines appear to be offset from the ones up here, and therefore krypton is also not present in the star. And lastly, mercury, if we look at this one, the 2 thick dark lines here match up with the 2 in the star spectrum. We've then got a thick dark line here which matches up with this one. We've got the 2 dark lines on the left that match up with these 2, and that means we can say that all of the lines in the spectrum for mercury appear in the star spectrum, so therefore mercury is also present in the star. So we have cadmium and mercury are the 2 elements present in our star. Question 2 says which elements are present in the star, and we're going to do a very similar thing here. So let's match up the lines from the spectra of each of these elements with the lines in the spectrum for the star. So let's just zoom in on our spectra to try and see it in a bit more detail. Now you hopefully see this yellow line which doesn't actually match up with a yellow line in the star spectrum because we've got an orange line where that one should be. And it's very difficult to see because it's a faint line, but we've got this faint sort of violet or blue line over here which doesn't actually match up with anything in the star spectrum. So therefore we could say that helium is not present in our star. If we look at lithium though, you'll see this bright red line which matches up with this red line here. We've got the bright orange line here which matches up with this bright orange line. We've then got a blue one here which matches up with this blue one, and we've also got a faint purple or violet line over here which matches up with the one here in the star spectrum. So that means we could say that lithium is present in our star. If we look at neon next, we've got these 3 white lines which actually match up with these 3 white lines in the star spectrum. We've then got these 2 white lines on the left which match up with these 2 white lines in the star spectrum, and then we've got some other coloured lines over here. So if we just look for the most obvious lines, we've got this red one, this orange one, maybe this green one, and you can hopefully see those here. So we've got the red one here even though it's a wee bit fainter, the orange one here and the green one here. So that means we could say that neon is also present in our star. And lastly we've got carbon. So we've got this thick bright orange line which if we match up to our spectrum for the star, there's actually no line at that point. We could then look for this green line which you'll see there's actually no line there in the star spectrum. So this is already telling me that this element, carbon, is not present in the star. So our strategy here has been to match up the lines of the elements with those of the star, and we've seen that both lithium and neon are present in the star because the lines in their spectra match up with the lines in the star spectra. Lastly, question 3 says the line spectra from these stars X, Y and Z are shown along with the line spectra of the elements helium and hydrogen. So this picture is a wee bit different to the ones we looked at in questions 1 and 2, where we've got the spectra for the 3 stars X, Y and Z, and then we've got the spectra for 2 elements helium and hydrogen. And the question asks which stars are hydrogen and helium both present in? Well, because we want to know which stars both of these elements are in, we want to match up the lines of the 2 elements combined with those of each star. So one way to think about it would be to overlap these 2 spectra and see which of these stars contain all of those lines when they're overlapped. So overlapping the 2 spectra would just be the same as having one spectra where, let's say we put the hydrogen lines into the helium ones, we would have the line here and the line here as well. And we're trying to see which of these stars contain all of those lines. So if we start off with star X, first of all, we've got 2 lines here and then another 2 lines. So there's the 2 lines contributed from helium, and then we'll have one line from the helium there and this one from the hydrogen matching up with this one from star X. We've then got this one from the helium, this one from the helium, and then this one from the hydrogen. So that is telling me that if I combine these lines together, star X does actually include all of the lines from hydrogen and helium. So therefore I could say that star X contains both hydrogen and helium. If we now look at star Y, you'll see we've got the two lines here which match up with those from the helium, and then we've got this extra line, and that's fine, that could be coming from another type of element. And then you'll notice we've got a missing line here, which means the one from hydrogen is missing. So straight away I can say that star Y does not include both elements hydrogen and helium. Moving on to star Z, we can see we've got the two lines on the inside here which match up with these two from helium. We've also got this extra one which is fine, again that could be coming from another element. We've then got the two lines here, one from the helium there and one from the hydrogen, so that's fine. We've then got this line here from the helium. We've then got an extra line again which is fine. We've then got this one from the helium and this one from the hydrogen, and that's us. That means that all of the elements from helium and hydrogen appear in star Z, but we do have some extra lines from other elements. So to conclude, we can say that stars X and Z only contain both hydrogen and helium. That's all for this video, folks. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Make sure to give the video one of these, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.